As a way to observe our society, our way of relating to the group has changed. How? Individual rights are rising up rather than collectivistic ones. Again, how? That is, we're valuing the self more. Actually, wait. We're valuing the self way more than the group or community. Individual rights take center stage, and people tend to be self-reliant and place a great emphasis on standing out rather than adopting the same old approaches for life, tradition, religion, etc. So, a new community of individuals start to behave and think differently. The diversity strikes and uniqueness arises. Self-sufficiency, independence, autonomy are becoming the brand new norm. This sounds too good to be true at first. Too idealistic, dare I say, idealistic for a fool's paradise, for the perfect fostering of the environment of neurosciences, mental illnesses, and suicidal tendencies. I mean, let's just take example of the perfect model of the individualistic society that is the American one. And if you notice, the suicide charts are rising up year by year and reaching new peaks every and each year. It's no surprise. It really isn't. Because on this cultural playground, you got one rule to play by with 3 people to play with exclusively. So the rule goes by, mind your own business, featuring I, me, and myself. You want to give out a hand for someone? That's shameful and disgraceful. You want help? Pull yourself by your bootstraps and stop whining. Stop whining until the loneliness gets you. But on the other hand, I should know that I'm from a collectivistic country, considered one of the best examples in the world, so I couldn't bother any less. Or not? Because if there's something I surely know, is that everything flows and nothing stays the same. You just can't simply step twice into the same river. Things are changing drastically at it. Morocco is what I would have described idly as the embodiment of collectivism. And to understand this on a grand scale, like of observing things, well, let's go by movements. And you should know that movements put a great emphasis on self-sacrifice, which is an opponent principle of collectivism. So the movement is the Green March. The Green March. How many of you know of that? Well, it's a non-violence act done by Morocco in the 70s to solve its territory problems down there in the Sahara with Spain. So the king back then announced that there will be a massive mobilization of 350,000 Moroccans to the Sahara. Now, to ask you, how many government officials do you think were there? Maybe a few 10,000s? A few hundreds? Well, there were about 40,000. The rest, 300,000 something, all citizens, all unarmed, all inexperienced, overly represented from rural eras. So now it's analogy time. Morocco, the group, benefited from the individual sacrifice its unarmed citizens to achieve its goal, the international conquest. The result? Spain completely pulled out from the Sahara 1 year later. But now that's us of the past. Let's just go back to the present. And let's ask more questions. Do Moroccans still value family? Yes. Are they willing to self-sacrifice? Heck yeah. Are there more mental diseases? Yes. How? Now, if you take a look into a beautiful and amazing survey done by Ibn Rushd, the college students in Casablanca, it mentioned somewhere in the paper that mental disorders were most frequent among female, urban, divorced, and unemployed individuals. And depression was the most common disease between all of them. It's actually no-brainer. It's no surprise yet again, because these individuals in my society are being constantly told that their burdens, problems, and their matters are just trivial stuff that no one should really care about. Your average citizen is becoming more self-centered, that his fellow suffering just another part of the day. And I really can't go no further than my high school to experience this, so the story will go on. So one day, after the final school bell run and everyone went around the school building to hang out as friend groups, just the usual, I was talking to a classmate, and then we heard that someone was getting bullied just around the corner. So curiosity struck me, and as I was going there and my eyes laid on the scene, my heart broke. It really did broke, because the one getting bullied, the one getting verbally harassed was my friend. I didn't want at it. She was getting verbally assaulted by an upperclassman. And so I tried to get the attention away from her. I really tried my best. And then we did as you always do, like the normal procedure. Go to the principal, tell them what happened. Oh, you self-defensed. Sorry, we can't do anything anymore. It really is the same around the world. It really is just the same. But as a way of reflection now, what bothered me the most wasn't the actual bullying, the disgusting harassment itself, but rather the amount of people that were present there but did nothing but stare. They couldn't give a hand. They thought that it's shameful, disgraceful. And so did my friend. She couldn't ask for a one. That's embarrassing. Being individualistic, independent, self-reliant are all nice things, but we shouldn't forget to relate to the group we belong in. And it's not our school, work, family, heck, country, but it's humanity. As to quote Montesquieu with this one, and I should thank him for the inspiration, I was born Moroccan by accident, but human by default. Thank you.